this has been quite an election season. You know, last week, no one thought that, I mean, Hillary Clinton was winning if you looked at all the polls. This week, it's a totally different story. They are neck and neck because of these email things. And the latest this morning...
Obamacare.
Right, and this morning we woke up...
Obamacare is nothing compared to the emails.
All right, so tell us why.
I mean, with all due respect, Brian.
Tell us why.
Well, I think that what the emails did was just throw enough mud on Hillary Clinton that reminded everyone of all of the shady, seedy aspects of her life. And whether you're right, left, conservative, liberal, Republican, or Democrat, you recognize that the Clintons have many dark chapters in their life. A lot of them have been exaggerated by their enemies. A lot of them have been so stoked almost out of recognition, but yet they have taken a massive toll, and people are voting for her like this now. And Donald Trump, for all of his misgivings and flaws, is the change candidate.
You say some of the seedy things from her history are dark things. We're talking about things that are illegal. According to CBS News, apparently on Weiner's laptop, they have found email from the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. These had never been seen before. They're not duplicates, which means these are some of the work email she was supposed to turn over, but they didn't. And that's against the law.
Let me say, before we go another step, unequivocally, that this will come to be known as the James Comey election. Because when James Comey, the FBI director, broke with long-standing FBI policy and released this bombshell 11 days before an election, it may be, what is the truth exactly? We don't know what the truth is.
If you found this out in January,
don't know what the
you would
truth
be outraged, Geraldo. You would say, you got to tell us when
Brian,
this happened.
if this was on the other, the shoe was on the other foot, and if this was some disclosure about Donald Trump by the FBI 11 days before the election, you would have exactly the same
I don't think so.
response. This is unprecedented, and we have to recognize that. Now, that has nothing to do with the truth of what he's saying or the substance of the allegations.
I have to respond to what you just said. If a tape came out of something that Donald Trump did in his business that would hurt him in the election, and somebody in the FBI in doing an investigation had this, and he had promised in July, if I find out any information on a Trump investigation, I will bring it forward. And he finds out, and he brings it forward, that you have no complaints because it's something that Donald Trump did. This is something Hillary Clinton did, and they said, as far as I know, nothing else is here, leave her alone.
I predict that just as J. Edgar Hoover's intrusion into the private life of Martin Luther King forever sullied the Bureau, so too James Comey's action have sullied the Bureau. He has intervened in a political process. Now, going back to the substance of the allegations themselves, I think that there's some real concerns there. For example, if Uma Abedin knowingly shared secrets on that computer she shared with her pervert husband, if she said, oh, Anthony, look at this, Kim Jong-il is going to launch a rocket next Wednesday, that is a crime. That is very similar to what David Petraeus did with Paula Broadwell. It's very similar to what General Cartwright did with the reporters he fed information. That is a real concern.
Right, absolutely. And the reason we know about some of these things are the FBI now is leaking like a sieve, because you've got the agents who are furious that the prosecutors wouldn't go forward, and they're mad because Comey back in July didn't suggest charges. Rudy was with us earlier, and he said this about that. Listen to this, Geraldo.
The reaction of the FBI agents who are retired that I know is almost uniformly that Comey made the wrong decision, that she should have been prosecuted back in July. And from that point on, I've been hearing from the retired agents that the Justice Department was obstructing the investigation of the Clinton Foundation, which might, in fact, be even more serious because it would be a vast fraud, multi-millions of dollars.
Well, I agree that the Clinton Foundation is fertile territory for investigating. But let me say this about Mayor Giuliani. Notice he said the word retired FBI agents twice in just that small soundbite we heard. He has not been saying retired FBI agents. He has been bragging about his sources within the Bureau who've been telling him about how disgruntled FBI agents are with the decisions of management up until 7 days ago.
He did say to us he wasn't talking with anybody
currently, because it just as the procedure of the FBI is not to intervene in elections until up to 60 days before the race, so too is it a violation of FBI protocol and regulation for anyone outside the Bureau to be being fed information by active agents. So that's why it's retired agents. Why should the FBI be any different than the rest of America? We are a divided nation. Look at these polls now. It is unbelievably close. Donald Trump is on the verge of the biggest upset in the history of American politics.
Geraldo, Hillary doesn't have anyone to blame but herself. People are talking about Comey and the timing of this. He only found out a few weeks ago because of Anthony Weiner. These emails were on there. If he had known about that in July, he would have said it. But he didn't have control over that timing.
We have seen a 7 to 10 point swing in the polls because of the Comey revelations. It is unbelievable, and it's not over yet.
But that's because
Comey revelations still happen. It is still happening. Here's my prediction. Just as in July, Director Comey said this was excessive, unforgivable negligence, but not the intent needed for this to be a criminal violation. I predict the same thing will be emphasized 60 days, 90 days, a year from now. He'll say, we've now reviewed the 650,000 emails, and we find nothing that was obviously classified before she sent it. There's excessive negligence, but no crime here. But history will already, reality would already have elected Donald Trump the president. It's that you don't get a do-over.
You are responsible for your actions in life, and her actions were you hand over the emails when I asked you for them. You didn't. I had to hunt for them, and then I had to find all this stuff on my own. She should have come clean right away.
I agree. She should not have had a private server. But why not? There are so many real issues concerning Hillary Clinton.
That is a real issue.
Look at Syria. Look at Iraq. Look at her, how she blew up.
People killed.
Those are real issues. This is a total political
Geraldo, put her there. He's leaving. We're out of time.
That's why I don't get on television much around here.
Maybe. You're on every Friday here.
Thank God.